All right, got another question here. And this is a good one. This is a Parks on the Air question, and then we'll get into somebody's asking about.
I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a question here. Parks on the Air. A friend and I went out to do a POTA at the Northern Highland American Legion State Forest with the coordinates given on the POTA site, which is just north of Pickerel Lake in the middle of nowhere. A road leading to the coordinates was blocked off by DNR gates, which were locked. Were the coordinates given were activating, or were the coordinates given where you were activating, or was it another location? If so, what was the location? If we were to activate that area, can we be anywhere within the above listed state forest, or does it need to be at or very near the given coordinates? And that's a really good question. I see that question come up a lot on in the forums and the pages. And just for a little bit of context, the Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest is thousands of acres spread over several counties in northern Wisconsin. So it's a big spot. And when they pin the maps on the Parks on the Air website for the locations, they're just either pinning it near the center of the park or a non-specific location in the park, and you do not have to operate at the pinpoint. In fact, the pinpoint really means nothing other than a general area of where the park is. So if you want to activate, and I've activated the Northern Highlands State Forest twice now. And once I did it at the South Trout Lake Campground, which is near Woodruff. And then I did another time near way on the end on just past, I think it was even just, I don't even think I was in Vilas County anymore. On the far western edge of the state forest, I found a trailhead, a parking lot and a trailhead that on the maps listed it within the bounds of the state forest, but it was way on the edge, and but you were still within the confines of the forest. So, long story short is get a map of the area. The DNR or the parks. Whoever's if you're in a different state, whoever's the conservation group that's managing the parks will have accurate maps of the boundaries, and you can use those to figure out where the park or the forest starts and ends. And you can also use that to find parking areas or other areas that you can set up and activate. So
right. So I love the remote ones. I know there's like the ones the ones I love are like the ones where I can just like be alone. There's no one comes around there. So look, a lot of times these wildlife areas, and a lot of times they're not even a park, they're just like a wildlife area. Drive around, you find a small parking area. It just maybe gravel. You have that. Nice, flat, usually dry. You can set up there real quick. You can make your 10 contacts and move on along. But long as you're within the boundaries of the park or the entity, you're legal. So,
yep.
That means you got to go on the remote side, and you just find a little spot off in the middle of nowhere. That's legit. As long as you're on the property, you're good.
Yep. Get yourself a map from the Natural Resources Group or a DeLorme Gazetteer. You should keep one. If you're going to be doing these kind of things, you should keep one of those in your car because they will have map boundaries in for most of the parks and forests and wildlife areas. So you can use that to kind of figure out, and it has all their little roads, so you can figure out where a parking area is and if it's within the boundaries of the forest itself.
Exactly. Yeah. It really. You can do, as long as you're on that property or on their land, that's fine. Whatever works best for you. And like I said, I like to go in the remote places with people where there's not a lot of people. It's quiet. You have very low noise floor. So you're not gonna have a lot of interference. You just have a good time. And then when you're done, set up, move off. And
nobody's gonna bother you if you're in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Exactly.
couple of places I like to find, you know, sometimes if you're having a hard time finding a spot, boat landings are usually, they're good open areas, trailheads. You know, a lot of times I'll do campgrounds if I'm spending a weekend there. Usually, then, you know, I've seldom have had noise floor issues at a campground.
Or
I think,
or the road ranger coming around and ask you what the heck you're doing.
well, as long as you're at your campsite, they never care. So, and they're not gonna, and I don't think I've ever been bothered by a conservation warden once at a boat landing or somewhere in a wildlife area.
I don't think I've ever been bothered, really.
No, usually not.
No.
Sometimes somebody will ask you what you're doing, and then you got to kind of explain. But other than that,
Foil hat off, set it down.
I like to take satellite. I like the Google Earth satellite, and you know, if I'm trying to find a spot ahead of time, I'll use that to look for parking areas and open spots. So
a nice dirt road going like down the middle of nowhere. That's great. That, like, when I see that on a POTA activation, I just go down that road. I don't care where it goes. I just keep looking for like the state-owned land signs. And then as soon as I see a little parking area, that's where I pull in. Like, that's perfect. That's a prime spot. And then I have a little GPS, handheld GPS, and I actually put that in there. So future reference.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the questions. If you keep sending them, we'll keep answering them. Feel free to leave your questions and comments down in the comment area below. I'll filter through them, and who knows, yours may end up on our next Your Questions Answered live stream. Our Q&A live streams happen on the first Thursday of the month, starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you there. For more articles and information, along with a full line of VHF and UHF antennas for sale, please check out my website at www.jpol-antenna.com. Your support of this channel drives the production of future videos. Check us out on Patreon. Patrons gain access to exclusive content, and our patrons help keep the mission alive. That's over on patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. Well, give us that thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here. That's your best way to be notified when a new video is released. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. Have a great day, and 73.